Hello there. This is the second time that I'm doing this video. This is the response to Moses' question of the week, number 51. What is holding you back as far as learning your targeted languages that you want to learn? I'm going to make this really quick before I have to bring my dog back in and before I'm disturbed. One big thing that I've noticed that's holding me back as far as learning foreign languages is memorization. I might do good with say, okay, this means that, that means that, but if I were to come up with something through memory, it would be extremely hard for me. I can remember some words, for instance with Greek, I already know a few words because of my, because I have a lot of Greek friends, and I hear the language so much. I might recognize some words. For instance, I know what Kalimera means. I know I know how to say Merry Christmas. Kala Kostunia. Stuff like that. I might pick up some things, but if I were to have a conversation in Greek to them, it would probably be difficult for me to learn because I remember, okay, this means that, this means that. I won't be able to remember it that much unless I study it really in depth, for weeks at a time, hours, Another thing is pronunciation. With this, it depends on the language. With some languages, I'm good in pronunciation. For instance, in Spanish, I'm extremely good with pronunciations in Spanish. Some languages that I'm horrible at pronunciation is Greek and especially Albanian. When I was practicing my Albanian, I might remember some pronunciations, but other than that, it sounded like I just butchered it, and that's really holding me back, I think. Same thing with Greek, because you have a non-Romanized text in Greek, you have this, for example, you see, you have the Greek letters and not the Romanized text. That's another thing that's holding me back because as far as pronunciation and memorization goes, I not only have to remember words and sounds, but I also have to remember, okay, this letter is different from the Latin alphabet, and this is that pronunciation, that is that pronunciation, and then as soon as I get into even learning the language, even though I learned that Greek letter has that pronunciation, if it's written in a certain way, it has a different pronunciation. So pronunciation is one major thing that's holding me back, and pronunciation and memorization go hand in hand sometimes, because if I have a hard time memorizing the alphabet and the pronunciations, every time I see a Greek letter, I might be like, okay, how does that pronounce? Or I might remember how that's pronounced, or there might be a certain rule that if it's spelled a certain way, it's pronounced differently than the actual way it's usually pronounced. Another thing that's holding me back, and I don't know if you can see it because of the light, Anglicized culture. As you know, in America, even though people speak foreign languages, some foreigners tend to learn English and know English. For instance, my Greek friends, even though they speak Greek fluently, they also speak English fluently. So it's unless they're really interested, it would be well, why bother learning my native language if I'm going to speak English to you anyway, unless they're really interested. For instance, I know one of my Greek friends, he would be extremely interested and actually happy that I'm learning his native tongue. It depends on who you meet, it depends on what their personal feelings are, different stuff like that. So anyway, those are the three main things that are holding me back. There are some more things, but I thought I would just make the three main things that are holding me back. So that's memorization, memorizing certain words, like this is how you say that in Greek, or this is how you say that in Albanian, and pronunciation, well, you pronounce that one way, you pronounce that the other way, and also organized culture, as I said before. If people who speak a foreign language already know English, then you'll either they'll be happy and speak to you in their native tongue because you're taking the time to actually learn it, or they'll be like, well, that's nice that you're learning my native tongue, but I already fluent English, so we can translate, so we can talk in English, stuff like that. So anyway, that's my response to Moses's question of the week, number 51. Goodbye.